Hey guys, today we're going to do the last method for solving systems of linear equations, and it's going to be elimination. I'm just going to get started with, we're going to write down the steps. We're going to do an example problem on the side. It's going to be pretty easy. I actually prefer this method over substitution most of the time. So let's get started. Step one is going to be to line up your equations. Most of the examples are going to be set up like this already, but let me show you. So for the first example, I'm actually going to give you one that's already lined up, but I want to explain what I mean by that. So first is going to be 3x plus 5y equals 8, and then we have 2x minus 5y equals 22. So that's our example problem. So you can see how the x terms are lined up, the y terms are lined up, and then the equal signs are lined up, and then the numbers on the left. So everything is in the same order, and that's what we want to start with. Most of your examples, like I said, most of your problems are going to be set up like this already. Especially if it's already set up like this, there's a chance that you might want to do elimination, but they have to be like this. Okay, so once you have them lined up, step two is going to be to pick a variable that we're going to eliminate. And then I'm always going to suggest that you pick the easiest variable. And for the most part, it should be pretty obvious which one you're going to do. For this example, we are going to pick y because you can see that I've got a positive 5y and then a negative 5y. So because these are opposite signs but the same coefficient, when I combine these two equations, the y terms are going to cancel out. So that's what we're going to eliminate, the y. Okay, so third step is going to be to add or subtract the equations. Since these are already opposite signs, we're just going to add them. So I'm going to rewrite them here for you. 3x plus 5y equals 8, and then 2x minus 5y equals 22, and I'm literally going to add them together. So 3x plus 2x is 5x, and then 5y minus 5y cancels out, which is what elimination is all about. We copy down our equal sign, and then 8 plus 22 is 30. So we have 5x equals 30. So once you add or subtract your equations, then we're just going to solve for the remaining variable. So we only have x left over here, so we're just going to solve for x. I'm going to divide both sides by 5, and x equals 6. Last step, and this is just like substitution from yesterday, we are going to take that value for x and substitute it into just one of the original equations. And that will leave us solving for the remaining variable. It doesn't matter which one of the original equations that you plug it in for. I'm just going to pick the top one. So 3 times 6 plus 5y equals 8. So then 3 times 6 is 18 plus 5y equals 8. We subtract 18 from both sides, and I have 5y equals negative 10. Divide both sides by 5, and I get y equals negative 2. So final solution, x is 6, y is negative 2. Okay, so this is elimination. I would like to make a note though, so let's put a nice big star with a circle around it here. So sometimes you're going to need to multiply. If these variables are not already, if the variable you want to eliminate is not already opposite coefficients, then you are going to want to multiply by a coefficient, or by the you're going to want to multiply the whole equation by another number to make them opposite coefficients. So sometimes you need to multiply by a factor so that the variables have, and I'm going to suggest we do opposite coefficients. So let's do an example. Let me show you what that's going to look like when we do an example of this. So we're going to have 4x minus y equals 2, and then 2x plus 2y equals 26. So there is my system. I can see that my x terms 4 and 2 would not cancel out or eliminate the way that they are, and then I have negative y and positive 2y, and those also won't eliminate. So I'm going to have to multiply. I'm going to choose to eliminate the y values. So I need to make this minus y into a minus 2y. So I'm going to multiply that entire equation by 2. And I'm going to write it down here. Okay, so it's just like distributing. So I'm going to do 2 times 4x, which gives me 8x. And then 2 times minus y gives me minus 2y. Copy my equal sign, and then 2 times 2 is 4. So we just scaled the entire equation up by 2, and because we multiplied everything on both sides of the equal sign, it doesn't actually change the value of the equation at all. So now I can see that I have a positive 2y and a negative 2y, and those are going to eliminate when I add my equations together. So 2x plus 8x is 10x. Those guys are going to cancel, and this is going to be equal to 30. So when I divide both sides by 10, I get x equals 3. Now I can I can substitute that 3 into either one of these equations. I'm gonna pick, let's do the bottom one this time. So I have my original equation, 2x plus 2y equals 26, and we know x is 3. So let's plug that in. 2 times 3 plus 2y equals 26. So 6 plus 2y equals 26. Subtract both sides by 6, and 2y equals 20. So when I divide by 2, y equals 10. So my final answer, 3, 10. Oop, there you go. Good job, guys.